what let's call it peak performance nutrition is? Anybody, throw it out there. Like, what do you want to hear about? What are you confused about?
What to eat before workout?
What to eat before workout? Perfect.
What are the best fats to eat?
Good, good. What are the best fats to eat? Excellent. What else? Anything else?
How long not to eat before I work out?
How long you should eat before you work out? Very good. What else?
Question they always ask is, how do I eat to put on muscle and burn fat?
Yeah.
You know, same time.
All right. And I do reward participation with like Scooby snacks, like SeaWorld.
Some of them got full strength, Dave.
I can tell these guys are built like wrestlers, and apparently they can catch like wrestlers. But anyway. All right. So here's my quick story. Been practicing 23 years. I have 5 degrees in nutrition, including a master's degree. A sports nutrition degree, practiced chiropractic up until 5 years ago, sold that practice, do nutrition consulting for a time. I do my office in Red Bank, work with the Jets, etc., etc. And here we are, and I have a nice presentation to go over that's going to answer those questions and hopefully more, and most importantly, give you things you can do tomorrow to improve yourself as an athlete, as a person, as a student, etc. You ready? Hit that something. All right, so here's a little my background. But really it all started in 1977, when very few people were born here. My mom had she had an accident, hurt her back, wasn't getting better. She was in the hospital, getting addicted to pharmaceutical drugs. Went to a chiropractor when I was about 11 or 12. Chiropractor fixed her up. I picked up a pamphlet in the chiropractic office that the doctor of the future will prescribe no medicine, but interests his patients care of the human frame and the cause and prevention of disease. And that was a quote by Thomas Edison. Where the hell are we? We're freaking Edison. Okay, so having said that, I picked up the pamphlet at the age of 11 or 12. I said, I'm going to be a chiropractor. So I knew right then and there, that's what I wanted to do. Started reading things like Muscle and Fitness. Where's my Muscle and Fitness magazine? At a very young age. And what's also interesting is I actually have an article in Muscle and Fitness this month. I got copies. If you want a copy, I'll send it to you. But having said that, so that was my commitment, that was my life's path, to teach people a better approach, free from drugs, free from surgery, being a peak performance. Does that make sense? That's what brings me here today. And now I'm 47. So there's my background. Beep. That means change the slide. So the objective is to be your absolute best. If you're an athlete, unstoppable force, powerhouse, and true champion. And this was obviously the Jets PowerPoint. I'm using the Jets PowerPoint, so you might just have to throw some of these out. But there's great information here about peak performance and these questions. You with me so far? Good. So you got to put your crash helmets on and kind of keep your ears open because I kind of move fast. If I start going too fast, you got to slow me down, and I'll slow it down. But you with me so far, right? You with me so far? Raise your hand. All right. And for us older people, or us adults, what you're going to learn here can also help you for the rest of your life be healthy and more fit. I want to die like my grandfather, which was very old and asleep. Not like the other people in the vehicle. Sorry. All right. So healthy athletes train harder. Healthy athletes recover faster. The reality of it is that your strength, your fitness is really about recovery. Would you agree with that? Zach, would you agree with that? This is a very important slide. If you forget everything, don't forget this. The principles of sports nutrition are these 3 principles right here. Number 1, maximize your fuel. Where does your fuel come from? Food. What is food made from? What's in food? 3 things.
Carbohydrates.
Protein.
That's it. And water, right? That's right. Protein, carbs, and fat. They're collectively called what? Macronutrients, right? Those are your macronutrients. Now, there are different energy systems in the body. There's a phosphagen system, there's an anaerobic glycolysis, and there's what's called the oxidative system. Okay, now the phosphagen system is very quick bursts of strength or speed, only up to about 6 seconds. So you've heard of creatine, or creatine monohydrate, right? So when you actually give the body more creatine, you can become more explosive, especially in the first 6 seconds. So there's an energy system called the phosphagen system. More commonly what we use for energy is what's called the anaerobic or anaerobic glycolysis. And what we're pretty much using at that point is sugar or glucose. Or glucose? Okay, where do we get glucose from? From food. And you know, your number one source of glucose comes from what? What type of food? Oh, carbohydrates, right? What are the different types of carbohydrates? There's really 3 types of carbohydrates. What are they? Good. Complex carbs, simple carbs, and fibrous carbs. What's a fibrous carb? It is a little close.
These guys need help.
That's a good answer.
They need help.
Hold on a second. Guru. What'd you get already?
Nothing, I don't have anything.
He didn't catch it though. He didn't even
No, I
catch
already ate it. It's okay.
Okay, popcorn is a starch. What's a fibrous carb? Parents, what's a fibrous carbohydrate, please? You want your kids to eat more of these things? Vegetables. Potatoes would be a starch. So you got simple, you got complex, and you got fibrous. So, a lot of the glucose, because your muscles like to burn glucose or sugar, okay, that's what our muscles prefer to use when you're exercising. Then we're going to break it down a little bit further. There's glycogen and circulating glucose. This is very, very important. So who knows what glycogen is? If you don't know, that's okay. Something you eliminate? The liver stores glycogen, good. We store glycogen in 2 places, the liver and where else? That's right. We can store up to about 400 grams of glycogen in our muscles and about 50 grams of glycogen in our liver. It is much better to burn for energy glycogen when you're training than circulating glucose. In other words, you're going to the underground strength coach. Gladiator, no BS training, correct? Correct. Is that correct?
That's right.
No bull, no BS, gladiator, no excuses, the whole 9 yards, right? Love it, and I really do. Having said that, if you don't eat for 2 to 3 hours, you don't have a pre-exercise snack, or you're not responsible eating through the day, you're going to have very low levels of glycogen. You follow? So if you have low levels of glycogen, you're going to be in a workout and you're going to have to start using glucose. You're going to have to start, I need something to eat. You might have to do a Gatorade or whatnot. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but the best way to optimize performance for aerobic and anaerobic training, which is what you're kind of doing here, is to make sure you have enough glycogen in the muscle. And guess what? I'm going to teach you how to do that. You with me so far? Yes. So glycogen is very, very important to make sure you're a better athlete, you have more stamina. All right. Oxidative system, you can burn fat, carbs, or protein. So the number 1 goal of sports nutrition is maximize your fuel. Number 2, minimize the damage. How do you get damage from training? How do you damage your body? Well, it's real simple. You're overtraining. Or sometimes you're not overtrained, but you're under-recovered. Follow me? See, Zach, no bull. He's one of the best I've seen as far as a trainer, especially young athletes. No joke. People know him throughout the country. He's passionate about what he does. I saw what he was doing here for 15 minutes. Thought it was perfectly appropriate. Thought it was great. Okay? Point being is that some people do overtrain. When you overtrain, you create inflammation. Inflammation is bad for the body. You can actually start to break down and it puts you at risk for injury. Okay. Catabolic hormones. If you tend to overtrain, not sleep enough, under-recover, you got low glycogen, you're not eating enough, you're missing breakfast, there's a high probability you're going to have an increase in what's called catabolic hormones. First of all, what does catabolic even mean? Good. What's the opposite of catabolic? Anabolic. Good. So you've heard of anabolic steroids, which simply means it increases muscle growth. So you have anabolic growth and catabolic breakdown. And together, that's called metabolic. During the course of a day, in a 24-hour period of time, you're having certain catabolic activity and certain anabolic activity. At the end of the day, you're either net anabolic or net catabolic. Does that make sense? As you get older, it's harder to stay net anabolic because of shifts in hormones and sedentary lifestyle, etc. Okay, having said that, what is the number 1 catabolic hormone in the body that you'll secrete at a high amount if you were overtrained, undernourished, low glycogen, etc.? What's the number 1 catabolic hormone in the body?
Lactic acid. Cortisol or?
Lactic acid is a good answer. That's worthy of a...
Cortisol?
Team Schlafer.
It is cortisol. I got a ringer over here. He's a ringer. There'll be a quiz at the end over here for you, Professor. It's not that easy. He's like all ready for it, like, you know, SeaWorld. Gotta chill.
We want to catch it though.
No. So cortisol is the right answer. Cortisol is secreted by what gland? The adrenal glands. Good. The adrenal glands in response to stress. In fact, the number one reason why cortisol is released at a high level is your blood sugar drops. Or you train too hard. So we're going to address this. So we're going to be able to tame or quench cortisol release when it's released at the highest time, which is when? When does cortisol seem to be released at the highest? Right after you work out. Because cortisol responds to stress. Okay. Optimal recovery. So you got maximize the fuel, minimize the damage, and optimize recovery. Nutrient delivery and timing. Nutrient delivery and timing. Well, guess what my article is about? Nutrient timing. Okay? So, I can't say enough about nutrient timing, it's critical. And then you can increase your anabolic hormones. What's the number one anabolic hormone in the body? Testosterone. Who in the room thinks it's testosterone? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Who in the room thinks it's something else besides testosterone? Raise your hand. I have a nod of people who are not participating. Who? It's a valid question. Who thinks testosterone is the most anabolic hormone in the body? Raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you very much. Who thinks it's not testosterone? Raise your hand. Okay. It's not HGH. So the answer is testosterone is the second most anabolic hormone in the body. What's the most anabolic hormone in the body? Which is it? Estrogen.
TLT. TLT needs it.
It is not estrogen, but thanks for participating.
I can't even do that.
Sorry? Luteinizing hormone is another good answer because luteinizing hormone turns on the testes and make more testosterone. So you're going upstream. I like what you're thinking. It starts with an I.
Item. Oh my God. That's an element.
Dude, somebody, yeah. You gotta take away the last prize you gave me.
Diabetics lack
Insulin. Oh.
Insulin is the most anabolic hormone in the body. That's an absolute fact. And I'll explain how that works in nutrient timing and recovery and glycogen and everything we're talking about. You with me so far, right? So you gotta understand anabolic, catabolic. Because what is the goal of training? Supercompensation. Agree? You want to supercompensate. You want to adapt to the training, so every time you train, you can actually handle more stress and adapt.
These guys train, like a lot of them, 6 days a week between here and wrestling and baseball and whatever it is to do. Some of them do 7 days a week.
Most high school athletes are teetering on overtraining or totally overtrained, or at least they're undernourished. So at least we got the seminar so you can take home some tools. Okay, this is the Principles of Sports Nutrition. This year is representing ATP. Anybody here in biology or had biology last year? What is ATP, young man?
Adenosine triphosphate.
Siggs is the man. Dude, Siggs bought a box of full strength. He's on it, bro.
Siggs is your name?
Siggs.
Oh, that's
Siggs. I thought that was like, you know, Siggs, crib death, you know? His new nickname is crib death. Okay, it's like, you know, a tattoo.
He's with a G. Siggs.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Siggs.
Crib death was here. Crib death. Siggs. Oh, it's Siggs. I'm sorry, crib death. That's your new nickname. Started there. Where was I?
ATP.
ATP. Why is ATP so important? Mitochondria. Aha, Mr. Estrogen over here in the front row. Okay, mitochondria. Okay, so in the mitochondria, which is a cellular organelle, remember, powerhouse of the cell, that's a test question, right? That's how you know it. That's where we generate ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. Where the phosphate molecule goes from ATP to ADP, the phosphate molecule is releases 7.6 kilocalories, and that provides the cell with energy. Does that ring any bells at all? Straight up, right? When it's spoken or taught like this, it makes a little more sense, right? Hopefully. So this is what's going on. You've got to be able to load up with glycogen and glucose, because there's C6H12O6 is glucose, gets into the cell, boom, goes through the Krebs cycle, you start generating ATP. You with me? That's how the body works. People don't understand how the body works. Sorry, I'm getting all upset over here. Okay, why do I have sleep up here? That's when you rest and recover, man. You ain't sleeping, forget about it. Melatonin is your sleep hormone, very important for your immune system recovery. If you're overtrained, you ain't sleeping, you probably get high cortisol through the night. No good. Right? Or I have to eat something before I go to sleep. That's a clue. Beep.
How many hours of sleep do you
8
want?
to 10 for a young athlete, but it's hard. I know you're in school, but 8, you gotta get 8 hours.
8 hours.
You gotta freaking get 8 hours. It's hard. Applied sports nutrition. Who here wants to improve their physique? Yeah. What the hell? Who here wants to put on muscle? Who here wants to lose fat? Good. Who wants to do both? Zach and I. Good. Increase lean body mass, increase power. This is the goal, right? Reduce inflammation and injury. Ensure recovery from training. That's sports nutrition right there. Beep. Scripted. How do you lose fat? Here are the 3 keys of fat loss. Everyone's looking for the holy grail of fat loss. Even Oprah Winfrey couldn't find it, right? And she's freaking Oprah. She's worth $275 trillion. Right? Dr. Evil. All right. Insulin management. We're going to talk about when you want your insulin high, when you want your insulin low. Okay. How do you spike insulin? How do you increase insulin in the body? What kind of food? You freaking go to Dunkin' Donuts, you start whacking down those munchkins. You're going to have an insulin spike. Right? Okay. You don't want to do that if you're trying to lose weight or fat. Insulin management, you need fish oils, you got to feed your body protein right, nutrient timing, we're going to talk about it. Metabolic typing, I'm not going to get into that right now. So it's insulin management, appetite control, and thermogenesis. Appetite control, sure. If you have a crazy appetite, and you can't continue, you can't get satisfied, of course you're not going to lose fat. Did you know the body will keep craving food until the missing nutrients are repleted? I'll repeat that. The body will keep craving food until you get the missing nutrient repleted, whether it be magnesium, vitamin C, essential fats. You follow me? So if you're deficient in any of the nutrients, and there's 40, 15 vitamins, 15 minerals, 8 essential amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids, if you're not getting these, you might just want potato chips. A lot. Or chocolate. A lot. Okay, so if you want to lose fat, balance out your insulin, control your appetite. What's the best way to control appetite? 2 ways. What's the best way to control appetite?
Drink water.
Drink water, what else? Protein and
Fish oil.
eat through the day. All right, you sons of guns. You're doing pretty good over there. All right, let's see. Well, who had that over here? Trip that?
David Ellis is like, I answered 20. He's like, I answered 20 questions. Where's my breathing?
At the end. Don't make me try it again. What happened? Oh. Thank you, estrogen man. All right. Beep. Oh, thermogenesis. Go back one. I'm sorry. Down here, thermogenesis. Maybe can. What does thermogenesis mean? Generation of heat. Genesis, thermo. Hello? How do you generate heat in the body? How about you work out? How else do you generate heat in the body? Excuse me? Did you say matches?
No, I didn't say matches.
I'm going to have to
It's like a
further.
wrestling match.
I know you didn't say
Wrestling
matches.
matches.
You generate with matches. How do you increase? This is called dietary-induced thermogenesis. What food, if you eat, will increase heat in the body the most? Protein foods will increase heat in your body the most. So it's thermogenic food. Just sometimes when eating more protein, you can help burn fat. Beep. Oh my God. Who here is taking fish oils? Raise your hand. Not bad. Good. You guys over 40? You're over 40, you're over 30? Yeah. Good. All right. Everyone should be taking high-quality fish oils, even youngsters, especially youngsters. Even babies should be taking DHA, EPA, DHA. If you have any questions on it, you can email me. Did I bring cards? I may have brought cards. Okay, but the reality of it is everyone should be on fish oils. Everybody, they help with recovery, they help with inflammation, they help with your joints, they help with every cell membrane in the body. Now the key to fish oils though is you have to get quality fish oils because guess what? Fish are filthy. Why are fish so filthy? Because the freaking ocean is filthy. Am I right? So you have to get high quality, purity certified fish oils. There's like 3 brands I recommend: Nordic Naturals, Metagenics, and something else called Nutritional Frontiers. So, if you got a question on fish oils, you can email me, I'll give you information. But fish oils are very important. You want to reduce your risk of cancer? Take freaking fish oils. You want to keep your joints lasting longer? Fish oils. Take fish oil. 1 fish oil pill, 1,000 milligrams every 50 pounds body weight is a good rule of thumb. So if you're 200 pounds, how many fish oils would you need?
4.
Good.
I got a question. Why, like I used to take fish oils, like why is it like made to like burp?
Okay. I'm going to do Q&A at the end. That's a very good question. Crib death. All right. And I don't want to offend anyone. This is actually bad. I apologize if, God forbid, anyone in this room had a relative that had a baby with a crib death. So I apologize now in advance. But it's funny, so I'm going to still do it. But I do apologize. It's too late, I understand. But I'm still going to do it. Okay. I apologize in advance. What am I going to do? Thank you.
Oh, DLC.
Muscle building. Who wants to build muscle? Good. Positive caloric or positive nitrogen balance. You ever heard that term?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you get positive nitrogen balance? Get enough freaking protein. It's that simple. Okay. Frequent feeding. Sleep. Support growth phase with proper protein. I'm going to talk about growth phase. And half your body weight in ounces in water minimally. If you're an athlete training like I just saw Zach train these guys, I don't think the air conditioning here is the best. How's the air conditioning here in the summer?
Rare.
It's rare.
I tell my wife that she has to call 3 times for me to turn it on, and I just lie to her and I say it's on, baby.
We'll time that. Hold on, time that. Your wife calls you here and tells you to turn the AC?
She makes sure that you guys are safe. She's worried about you guys.
I'm thinking that he won't let his wife turn the AC at home. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay.
This guy came over to my house and still hasn't invited me to his house.
He'll never be.
And he promises.
Better shot at getting in my house than this character. You know what I'm trying to say? In fact, I have a crib. I'll put you.
As long as estrogen man isn't there before me, you know.
I got news for you. He's already been there. All right. Half your body weight in ounces, but if you're training, at least an extra 24 ounces. So do the math. I'm not going to do it for you. Beep. I said beep. Who's heard of whey protein? Okay, whey protein comes from what? Milk. Comes from cows. Okay, good. Milk is mostly 80% casein, 20% whey. When someone has a milk protein allergy, it's usually to the casein, not the whey, which is different from lactose intolerance. What's lactose intolerance? You're allergic to the milk sugar, but someone can have a milk allergy. Bottom line is that whey protein has the highest biological value and it will help you build muscle the best and help lose body fat if you can tolerate whey protein. Most people can tolerate whey protein. Would you agree with me on that? Good. And whey protein is great because whey protein isolate is quickly absorbed. So when would be the best time to take your whey protein isolate? Thank you very much. Not going to give out stuff for that. It's also known as the gold standard of protein, the most nutritious protein available, and you're getting whey protein, like full strength is whey protein, in Pro Optimizer, which is a great recovery drink. It's a whey protein isolate. It's quickly absorbed, okay? So it is the gold standard for building muscle, and it also helps to quench what? Cortisol. Good. Beep. Advantage of whey protein. Well, hey, red meat's great, chicken's great, turkey's great, fish is great. You gotta eat these foods. But it's quick, it's convenient, you don't get the cholesterol, all that stuff. I'm not saying cholesterol is bad. Because cholesterol is very, very, very important. One of the most important nutrients, that's right, nutrients in the body. Did you know that all your anabolic hormones come from cholesterol? Cholesterol, sterol, all the steroids in the body come from cholesterol. So any men here that are on statin drugs for lowering cholesterol, I bet you there's at least 3 men in here on cholesterol-lowering drugs. Let's see your hands. Come on, don't be embarrassed. No one here is on a cholesterol-lowering drug. I'm very impressed.
This is Chow.
Hey, Chow. How's it going? You're perched up there nice, Chow. I've never seen that move, ever. That's great. So cholesterol-lowering drugs can reduce testosterone in men, by the way. And it does. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm saying you might not need it. Beep. Oh, whoa, how'd that get in there? There's me. Yeah, I was Mr. New Jersey, all natural, 1995. Beep. Let's not look at that too long in the spandex. Good. Okay, nutritional requirements. You need vitamins, you need minerals. When you're training harder, you need these nutrients. And I got news for you. It's not the food much anymore. How come the food is void of nutrients by and large? What happened? It's processed. What else? If you come up with the answer to this, I'm going to give you a check. What's the number one reason why the food today is low in nutrients?
Overprocessed and harvested.
Chemicals.
Cheaper.
You said they want you to take it out, they want you to eat it all. Not particularly, but I like the way you're against the government. I like the way you're thinking. Because it's time for, it's time for a rally or something, right? You agree with me on that? Why is the food close? Number one reason why the food is less in nutrients than it used to be.
Fillings.
I can hear you.
It's been sitting there for a while.
We have overfarmed the soil, ladies and gentlemen. You know this. Don't you ever hear that? Only about 7% of U.S. soil is actually grade A soil anymore. We've overfarmed. Commercial farming, they are raping the soil. Raping it. Okay, so you got to take a multivitamin mineral. You like that? Okay. Beep. Oh, this is the second most important slide of the night. This is number 2. Optimal training is supercompensation. I already alluded to that. Here's how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. You come to see Zach and get a Zach attack. No BS, it's gladiator training. Oh, I just completed the workout. You're now in a recovery phase. That can last from 24 to 72 hours or longer, depending on how hard you worked out. Your recovery in the body parts trained, correct? Would you agree with that, Zachary?
Agreed.
And then you're going to start to recover. You're going to get your sleep, you're going to eat, and you're going to recover. And then you're going to see Zach or whomever the next time, and you're going to train again. The yellow guy is doing better than the blue guy. Because what's actually happening here, he's going to recover, train, go catabolic, go anabolic, catabolic, anabolic. You get the picture. There's a net supercompensation. You with me? This is very important. If you're lacking sleep, you're lacking water, you're lacking nutrients, you're lacking protein, you're lacking calories, overtraining, overreaching is another term that we actually use, all right? You're at a plateau. I can't tell you how many athletes, high school, college, I've seen who are grossly overtrained or we call overreached. And how would you know that potentially you're in an overtraining, non-compensating mode? How would you know this?
You're tired.
You're grouchy. You're tired. I don't feel like working out. I just puked on myself in the middle of the workout. Right? You're getting weaker. You can't sleep. I'm losing weight. All these things. I'm creating a lot of sugar. It's a multitude of things. So if you're not recovering, the training isn't really all that effective. You with me on that? That's the case. Beep. Okay, anabolic reactions require energy, catabolic things break down. And then you release energy on a catabolic reaction. So I'm now working my bicep. I'm actually going to be burning some glycogen. I'm breaking down some ATP. That's it. When you work out, is that catabolic or anabolic? It's so completely catabolic. When does the anabolic phase happen? From workout to workout, hopefully. And the first hour is really key. That's known as the anabolic phase of your training, actually. Beep. Okay, so how do you attain your goals? You want to make sure you're going to get the right insulin spike, and you're going to limit the catabolic hormone cortisol, which I'm going to get into in a minute. What's the goal? Insulin management, control cortisol. That's really, I can break it down like control insulin, manage cortisol. Beep. Cortisol causes inflammation, eats your muscle. So cortisol, now here's the good news, everybody. Cortisol can be blunted with insulin. What does that mean? When cortisol is high in the body, typically insulin is low. When insulin is high in the body, cortisol starts to go down. So what might you want to do right after a workout? Get your insulin up. How would you do that? Would I inject insulin? Maybe. You don't know what I'm doing in the back. You don't know what I'm doing in the back. You know what's going on. You don't know. You know what's happening. Sorry. What does the research show? The answer is you're all true. You got to eat within 30 minutes of your workout. And it's actually you don't want to eat, you want to do what? You want to drink it. Why would you prefer to drink your food than eat your food post-workout? If you eat food, you got to get gastric emptying. You're going to miss the window because after your workout, your muscles are like a sponge. They're going, give me glycogen and give me amino acids. You give them to me now. You follow? You like that, Quick Beth? You like that? You're laughing over it. So the research shows that the ideal way to reduce cortisol and increase insulin, which is the most anabolic hormone in the body, is to have a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 carb to protein nutrition shake post-workout. And what protein do you want to typically use? That's right. What kind of carbs would you use? Fibrous, complex, or simple? That's exactly right. Because the simple carbs are going to spike the insulin out of your pancreas, and then what's going to happen is your sugar is going to be shooting into your muscle cells and your brain, and amino acids are going to go for the ride. Woo! And you're going to start actually getting recovery immediately. Love Pro Optimizer for that. This is a 4-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. It tastes awesome. It's got some vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in it. If you're interested in getting that, you can shoot me an email. I get it through Zach and have it here in the future. Who knows? Another consideration I didn't talk about, when you're training, you want to preserve your glycogen the best you can. You don't want to go into a workout and and use up all your glycogen. So you would sip a carbohydrate drink, an electrolyte carbohydrate drink. This is my favorite, called Endura, which has got magnesium and potassium, which also helps. So during the workout, you want to go glycogen loaded and then be sipping a carb drink through the workout. So you're not going to be using up all your glycogen. You follow me on that? So you want to work out with glycogen and sip some carbs. Post-workout, within an hour, preferably 30 minutes, you're getting about a 4-to-1 ratio of carbs and protein. Now, how many grams of carb protein should you have post-workout? 20. Maybe. It all depends on how big you are. You know, it all depends on how big you are and how hard you worked out. Okay, so for example, 3 scoops of Pro Optimizer is about 96 grams of carbs, 24 grams of protein. Guys 175 pounds, 200 pounds, you're working out hard, boom, I would recommend that. It's an individual thing. But if you're a 150-pound athlete, you're working out for an hour, I usually recommend, and here's a generalization, 1 gram of carb per minute train. So if you train for 60 minutes, how many grams of carbs did you ingest post-workout? That was the easy part. How many grams of protein might you have? Peanut gallery? About 15. It's division. 60 divided by 15. You know what I'm saying? As a general rule, are you with me? Okay? And if you went over, it probably wouldn't hurt you. Now, if you're an athlete trying to lose weight, I would maybe temper that down a little bit to maybe 3-to-1. Not get too crazy. But if you're looking to put on size, you want to get an insulin spike, a 4-to-1 ratio or a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs and protein. And as a general rule, 1 gram of carb per minute trained. You with me on that? That's going to do 2 things. Spike insulin and help bring down cortisol. Because if cortisol stays too high for too long, you are not going to recover properly. You're going to stay inflamed, your muscles aren't going to grow. You with me on that one? Got me on that one, Zachary?
Got you.
Okay. Muscle is uniquely sensitive to specific nutrients at different times. That's that whole post-workout, you know, feed the glycogen type of situation. That's the book. You want to read a good book? It's an easy read. It's a small book called Nutrient Timing. Okay? What causes muscle damage? Physical trauma, cortisol, and free radicals. Also, when you're getting the insulin spike with Pro Optimizer, you're getting nutrients that helps quench free radicals, which are formed when you train. It's another story. Beep. Nutrient timing. Studies done at the University of Ohio using a carb protein formula post-workout showed less medical visits, less infection. So what happens is when you get this post-workout cortisol reduction or insulin spike, you're actually improving the immune system because whey protein is very high in glutamine. You've heard of glutamine? And glutamine is the most important amino acid for the immune system. And cortisol, if cortisol stays high too long, that's the worst thing for your immune system, as a general rule. Less joint problems, and a decrease in medical visits due to heat exhaustion. So you know if you're glycogen depleted your increase of heat exhaustion increases significantly. I'll tell you why. 1 molecule of glycogen, which is like C6H12 in the muscle, holds 3 molecules of water. That's interesting. So when you have glycogen in the muscle, you have more water in the muscle. So there's less chance of actually becoming dehydrated. You with me on that? So there's a lot of benefits of a post-workout nutrient timing drink. Beep. So what are the steps of success? Get 8 hours of sleep. You better be in bed by 11. Why? Well, hey, I wake up at 9, I go to bed at 1. Why isn't that as good? Good. Circadian rhythm now is thrown at me. He's right. What about the circadian rhythm at night? What about the circadian rhythm at night? Rip that. Close. Why do you have to be sleeping by 11? Close. What's another very important hormone for recovery? Human growth hormone, HGH. When is the HGH secreted?
At night.
At night, between usually 12 and 1 a.m. So guess what? If you ain't sleeping by 12:30, 1 o'clock, deep sleep, you miss your GH release. And as you get to be exactly, well, Zach's younger than me. What are you, like 40?
35.
Sorry.
God, I forgot I'm 36 in 2 months.
Congratulations.
Getting there.
Us people over 40, 45, when you ever notice when you don't get that sleep? You ain't the same. You agree?
I agree.
It is different, man. But trust me, you youngsters, be in bed by 11, I prefer 10, 10:30, to be honest with you, and you gotta get 8 hours. Okay, pre-workout meal. Someone asked a question, what do I eat before a workout? I call it a pre-workout snack. In my article, which I have a couple here, but if you give me your email and the sign up, make sure I get that, I will send you this article. Or you can go by Muscle Fitness. I'll just send you the article. Because everything I'm talking about here, a lot of what I'm talking about here is in the article. This goes over the food component. Have a pre-workout snack 30 to 60 minutes before. You only need about 30 grams of carbs, 10 grams of protein. And I have options in there. Like you can have applesauce and some whey protein. You can have a hard-boiled egg and some fruit. You can have a nutrition bar 30 minutes before you work out. Just chew it real well, make sure it's not high in fiber. Because if you eat a lot of fiber before you work out, the gut has to digest the fiber, the blood stays in the gut, that's not good. Okay? So a pre-workout snack and a post-workout meal. That's very, very important. So what do I have here? A cup of oats, 4 egg whites, a cup of grits, but the article actually has it spelled out better. It's about right. Now these are for the big guys. Beep. Using glycogen is better than trying to go into the gym and try to get it through Gatorade. It's less acidifying. Someone mentioned lactic acid before. When you're burning glycogen, it's less acidifying than burning glucose. Like you're in the gym and you're trying to like, oh my God, I gotta get some Gatorade in there. It's not what you want. Beep. Beep. And I'm gonna go back to that. Water. Half your body weight in water. It should be pure water, obviously. I gotta spend some time on that. Water's a whole other issue, and it is problematic. You got the plastic bottles, that's a problem, right? Okay. You really want to try to get good filtered water. Is a Brita filter enough? It's better than most. If you ever want good information on a really high quality filter for your home, I have a whole house filter, a baby, I want your whole house filter, you can email me that too. Okay, I put a lot of time and research into proper water. If you sign up on my email soon, I have an article going out on water in schools that you want to read. So I don't want to be Debbie Downer. You know Debbie Downer from Saturday Night Live? I don't want to be up here going Debbie Downer on you, but here's some stuff you got to know. Drink water. Try to get as pure water as you can. Sorry. If you want information, parents or all young people, email me. All right. How much protein do you need? Okay, daily protein requirements. In school, a lot of nutritionists learn 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body mass. Okay, so Zach is a very handsome 100-kilogram man. If you'd agree with me, raise your hand. Relatively handsome, from his Eastern European roots.
It's like 4 hands went up.
He was like Mr. Israel or something, Mr. something. Natural. I don't know if you know that. But he's 100 kilograms, would you agree?
Exactly.
So, exactly. According to this stupid things that nutritionists learn, he needs 80 grams of protein per day. How would you do 80 grams of protein a day, Zach?
Not be good.
Not be good. Okay. Even when we went to the Jets, the nutritionist who's still there, God help them, was recommending 80 grams of protein per. It was stupid. So what's the research saying? 1.6, like double, or more, or more. At least a gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. What do you weigh, Estrogen King? 148, 155. So you're probably pretty tight. You're probably maybe 10% body fat, whatever. So you're probably 135, 140 pounds of lean body mass. You need at least that much protein a day. Okay, as a general rule. So this whole myth, too much protein is bad for the kidneys and the liver, it is a myth. If you've got a liver problem or kidney problem, then hey, you got to watch your protein. You know, listen to your doctor. But many people are not getting enough protein. And how should you be getting your protein? Often throughout the day, like your water, like your oxygen, right? Okay. Beep. So what do you got to do? Post-workout, anabolic phase, drink a protein carb solution within 45 minutes. Shift from a catabolic to an anabolic state. That's exactly what you're doing. As soon as you do that shake, you're shifting to an anabolic state. That's what you got to do. Speed up the elimination of metabolic waste. Oh yeah, when you do that insulin spike, you start getting the lactic acid out of the muscles as well. Replenish muscle glycogen. So guess what? You want to keep your muscle glycogen levels high? Do a post-workout shake. That's how you get your glycogen levels high. And don't miss breakfast with protein and carbs. Because you slept all night, hopefully, and you woke up and your glycogen levels are already down. Drink 20 ounces of water and get yourself some protein and carbs, like oatmeal and eggs, or turkey bacon and, you know, a good cereal, excuse me. Or a whey protein shake and fruit. That's not hard. Take the frickin' whey protein, put the fruit in there and blend it and drink it. With some almond milk or rice milk. Oh, I gotta run to school. You gotta do that. If you're missing breakfast, you don't have no business even coming to the gym. You got no business. No business. You gotta have breakfast. It's ridiculous. Okay. Beep. Post-workout, already went over that. Beep. So what do? You gotta set goals. So here's the story. Once upon a time, someone did an interview. They did this study. They interviewed the class of 1953 Harvard graduates. And they were getting statistics. And they found that the 3% of the Harvard graduates in 1953 who wrote down specific career goals were worth more financially than the other 97% combined. To give you an understanding of the power of goals, your goals should be written and specific. What is the difference between a goal and a dream? What is the difference? Pretty good answer. One is realistic, one isn't. So how do you realize that a goal is realistic? If it's reachable. How do you know a goal is reachable? Sorry?
You have a plan to get there.
All right. All good. How do you know a goal is attainable?
You don't.
Parents, how do you know a goal is attainable? Because another human being has already done it. Roger Bannister, what did he do?
Broke the 4-minute mile.
He was the first guy to break the 4-minute mile, I think in the 50s or the 60s. They thought that no human could ever run a mile in 4 minutes or less. Did you know that 1 year or 12 months after he broke the 4-minute mile, 47 guys did it? You understand? Right? So a goal is attainable because someone's already done it. It's that simple. Now when you write down your goal, and they should be written down, when I work with my athletes, I work with David Deal, I work with Brian Cushing, I work with Donald Brown, I work with Jamal Westerman, all these guys I'm name dropping right now, I'm name dropping. I say to them, you take a Post-it and you put it in your girlfriend's forehead. Sorry, that was actually hard. And she thinks you're looking at her, you're looking at the goal. You ain't looking at her, you got a Post-it on her head. You put your goal in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the thing. Everywhere you look, there's the goal. I'm a wrestler. I'm going to win the districts. I'm going to be 18 wins, less than 5 losses. This season, 2011. A goal has to be specific with a time frame on it. You should set goals for your academics. You should set goals for your food. You're laughing about the academics. I'm not kidding you. Okay, I'm here standing here today because, you know, I actually was lucky enough to have a goal and have vision and do all this stuff. Because when I was a kid, when I was 15, I wanted to be a sports nutritionist for a professional team. That was my goal. Okay, you know who Merrill Hodge is? Who's Merrill Hodge? Played for the Steelers. He's an ESPN commentator, right? Good guy. Ran a 4.740. Every time they timed him, he ran a 4.740. No one really wanted him. When he was 10 years old, on his wall in his bedroom, he says, I'm going to be an NFL running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers someday. Okay? He wasn't that fast. He wasn't that great, but he had a 9-year career. So goals are important. You get the message. See? Oh, damn it. I don't have to have this all the time. That's a prison shot. That was over here in Rollway. And they let me out, and I figure I would throw the spandex on. Notice that that's called a teardrop, Zach. I don't know if you ever experienced one. That's a fast analysis teardrop. Those are Ken Griffey Jr. sneakers. That is spandex. Zach, that's called a bicep peak. I'm not sure you're familiar. That's serratus anterior. Those are called pec minor, pec major. And there's some other things going on. Thank you very little. And I look a little like Deputy Dog, I think. In that all right. B, get out of that. Okay, that is my PowerPoint presentation. That was pretty good. That was about an hour. You were attentive. We're not done because now we're doing Q&A. I got more scallops and shrimp in the bag for you SeaWorld fish. And a question over there.
Oh, I thought you promised that. I have a question now. Guys.
So you talked about glutamine being like the most important amino acid. Do you recommend taking amino supplements?
More, James? Let's pick on David. David Smart, good question. So you mentioned, Tom, that glutamine is probably the most important amino acid. Do you recommend taking supplements like additional glutamine? That's the question?
Yes.
The answer is it's a good question. In some cases, yes. You should be getting your protein through the day. But if you're working out hard, trying to build muscle, glutamine before bed, sometimes extra glutamine post-workout. When I was bodybuilding, I definitely took extra glutamine. Glutamine and creatine are safe amino acids. I'm not going to get into controversy about creatine. Glutamine, love glutamine and branching amino acids for recovery. But if you master the fundamentals, which is what I'm basically saying here, you always don't need that.
So how do you avoid, with the protein, I probably get, doing the math, 50, 60 grams of protein a day on a good day. When I start supplementing that, I get gas.
Okay. Now it's the therapy session, okay? Now it's the therapy session. I knew it would come to this. There's always one in the crowd. I'm kidding. So if you're getting gas from protein, A, you could be sensitive allergic to that protein. Or B, most commonly, well, let's go this. If you're drinking a lot of fluid with your protein, like you're having a steak and chugging some water, that's a big mistake. Because you're diluting your stomach acidity or hydrochloric acid, which is necessary to shred up the protein and breaking down into amino acids. So do not drink fluid when you're eating protein. Just sip between bites. If that doesn't work, you might need more hydrochloric acid in the stomach. You can actually take digestive enzymes or hydrochloric acid, which can help you break up protein. I have a product called Probizymes. They're wafers. Eat protein, chew the wafer, has acidophilus, and it actually has hydrochloric acid. If you email me, I can explain it to you and even ship it right to you. It's called Probizyme. I'd like to see you start, maybe try that, but also try not drink a lot of fluid. And the first stage of digestion is what? What's the first stage of digestion? Chewing, but even before, good. Pavlov's dog. Smell the food, you should smell the food, kick in the olfactory nerve, get some saliva going, and swallow when it's liquid. Okay, you should drink your food and chew your liquid. Okay. Good. All right. Give me another question. Dave, anything else bothering you? You know about it?
Like
You want to share for the group?
So like right after cutting for weight, what would you recommend? Like you make weight.
Now, are you a high school student?
I'm
Because you look old.
yes, I'm one of the mature athletes.
Yes. So are you like a coach?
He's Olympic level judo.
Uh-oh. Did it this time. You're a judo guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a highly trained athlete who was a little undernourished.
Yeah. So it's like you make weight and then you start competing 2 hours later.
Yeah. So at this level, with the making weight thing, which a lot of wrestlers do, and I work with a lot of wrestlers. I work with state champs, Joey Trouse and Nicky Mandito, and I work, you know who Frank the Tank is? You know that guy from Penn State? The guy's a freaking animal, right? That's my guy. Came to me 3 years ago, completely a mess. A freaking immune, depleted, depressed mess. Your guy's supposed to be pretty good, right? I've never seen him wrestle, but I heard he like polarizes people. Is this true? Having said that, wrestlers and boxers and judo thing, you really need good nutrition support because you're doing things that are extreme that you really shouldn't be doing in your body, but you're doing it anyway because that's what you do. So it gets more complex for you. This is a little more fundamental stuff. You can draw a lot from this. If you want to see me down at Red Bank, I'd be happy to work with you. Okay? Any other questions? Laser. Go ahead.
Like I get cramps easy as hell, so like, should I eat before I work out at all? Like, what should I eat? Like stuff like that.
So he gets cramps like
Like in my ribs cramps, not like.
Is it gas?
No,
You get rib cramps. So you're rib bone cramps. Ribs don't cramp.
my inner.
Your inner self is talking to you. Your inner child is trying to tell me something.
Sort of.
I'm sorry. What's happening, man?
Like whenever I run or like anything like that, like I'll get like a cramp.
Is it worse after you eat?
Like yeah, if I eat before.
It's gas. You're probably running before you have good digestion. You're a fast eater?
Yeah.
Listen, Crypto. You got to chew your food. Give yourself probably an hour because what you experience is actually gas.
I would do even longer and I still get cramps like.
All right. Chew the food. Don't drink a lot of water. Try just like a piece of fruit an hour before, an hour and a half before. Banana, an orange, something like that. Applesauce. A great pre-workout snack, man, is applesauce with a bit of whey protein on it. 30 grams of applesauce, 10, 15 grams of whey, 30 minutes for a workout, and beautiful. Okay? But it sounds like gas. And tell your inner child, thank you for sharing that. What other questions you got on anything about your problem?
Torture.
Torsia? I know a great torsia. Go ahead.
With the same thing as like a pre-workout meal, the same thing as like before a game meal, or is that the same thing?
Now, you wrestler or you football?
Football.
So pre-workout, okay, so football is what, at night, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 7:30? So you want to be eating through, your larger meal should be around 3:30. That's like you're going to get your chicken, your potato, you're going to get some good protein carbs. Then 5:30, 6 o'clock, the applesauce, the whey protein, maybe a piece of fruit. At halftime, you're hungry, maybe just a little fruit at that point, or preferably you're going to do some Endura, which is way better than Gatorade, but that's what you have at the high school, collegiate level, and professional level, whatever. But 3.5 hours before is you should have a nice meal. And not a lot of protein at that point, like, rice, potatoes, some good starch, maybe 3-4 ounces of protein, boom, hour and a half before the game, a pre-workout snack. And what I have in the article would be helpful. That's a very good question. Good.
What would be the right way to cut weight?
The right way to cut weight, that's a good question. So you're a wrestler?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the right way to cut weight first starts with a plan 90 days out. Not 9 days out. Every wrestler all wrestlers make this mistake. Okay? So you start 90 days out. You know what I'm trying to say? So you gotta, it's too late for that. All right, but that you have to be smart about it. And basically you want to make sure, see, a lot of times you cut weight, we'll just have fruit, this, that. You still want to reduce your calories, but you want to still get some protein and carbs, whey protein isolate powder, some fruit. Like you still want to be eating through the day. Okay? Bagels, you wrestlers, is not what you want to be eating for carbs, whether you're cutting weight or not cutting weight. It's loaded with sodium. It's not the easiest to digest. And if you're trying to choose a carbohydrate, ask yourself one easy question. Who made this? Man or nature? You follow? There are really not bagel trees. Potato. Root vegetables Sweet potato, yams. If it comes from the root, it gives you strength. Alright? And potatoes are great, man. You've got a whole bunch of potatoes, real cheap. You freaking nuke them. You put your fork in there, nuke them. Now, if you're going to try nuking your potatoes at home, don't just hit, it says potato. I tried this once, because that is like 20 minutes, like they think you're doing 5 potatoes. I blew a microwave to smithereens. An average sized potato is about a 5-minute cook in a normal microwave. In Edison, it's a 6-minute cook. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why. Any questions over here? You crazy people.
What's a good, like, as a prep weight, what's a good thing to eat, like 2 hours, weighing like 2 hours before a match?
Yeah, so you weigh in and you want to know what to eat afterwards? Yeah, that's a good question. So again, you got to be careful because you don't be cramping up on the mat, right? So again, I would go with some whey protein. Maybe the best thing I have a lot of my athletes do is like this Pro Optimizer, because you're going to get carbs and protein. You can have some fruit, maybe some oranges, maybe some banana, maybe some Pro Optimizer, but you don't want to be having any meat because you might not digest it in time. Remember Roberto Duran, no mas? Right, he had a steak before he quit. So you want to be having some, like maybe some fruit, a Pro Optimizer, something of that nature. You still want some protein, but you really want carbs at that point. Because if you cut weight, which you did for the weigh-in, you're glycogen depleted. Right, that's what you are. So you want to get some carbs at that point. The protein's not as important then. Good. More questions? Yeah.
Do you need to eat, like food? Could you just, like I'm saying, could you just take, could you just take supplements and shakes and things like that?
Good question. Could someone just do shakes and that's it? And the answer is conceivably yes, but no. Because when you chew food and you're masticating food, there's an enzyme effect. There's more of a growth effect with that. So when I was in my day, I would eat 6 to 7 times a day. If I ate 7 times a day, it would be 4 food meals and usually 3 shakes. But when I had a shake, I always had a potato. Okay? So shakes are very, very helpful. Breakfast, post-workout, mid-afternoon, when it's hard to get food. Okay? So the answer is a combination is important. Good. Yeah, more questions? Any parental questions or almost parental questions? Yes. You're okay.
You're using food to reduce cortisol.
Relax your nervous system.
Yeah.
The answer is yes, because when you're digesting food, that's a parasympathetic. Did you ever learn sympathetic, parasympathetic? Okay. So training is a sympathetic thing, fight or flight. And eating is a parasympathetic neurological response, which should be more relaxing. So in theory, when you're eating food, it should kick any more of your parasympathetic nervous system to relax you. Doesn't always happen, but in theory. So the answer is yes. And you're thinking because the cortisol comes from the adrenals, and adrenals fight or flight, if I eat, can I reduce my cortisol? Potentially. It's a good question. It's the best answer I got on that. But I understand the question. That's a very good question. Did I give you anything yet?
You can do one.
You need another Mr. 50 grams of protein a day.
What, Guru, what about, what would you want to see these guys packing for lunch?
Yeah, all right, that's a good question. So first of all, the key is that you probably do have to
If
pack
they
lunch.
eat breakfast. Let's say they eat breakfast.
Eat breakfast or just find yourself a new career. Don't come here. Honestly, I'm not kidding. Okay, so a lunch, what are you going to have if you don't bring lunch? The freaking pizza, or the French fries, or the chicken fried burger
That's
patty,
what they eat.
pizza thing?
Pizza and cupcakes.
What are you going to freaking eat? Dude, you've got to bring your food to lunch. You got to bring your food to school for lunch. How about a freaking turkey sandwich on some whole grain or some rye with an apple, and make it like maybe 2 sandwiches, maybe a big ass sandwich with a piece of fruit. You know what I'm trying to say? 2 pieces of fruit. Man, if I was trying to put on weight, I'd bring a baked potato and frickin' I'd nuke it. I'd put the aluminum foil around it. I'd bring my sandwich. I'd eat a frickin' baked potato and an apple. I used to take my baked potatoes and dip in my shake and eat them like this, like a frickin' apple. Anyway, chicken, turkey, roast beef, leftovers. I don't care, but you need protein and carbs and some quality fat at lunch. If you're relying on the school to feed you, as far as nutrition, timing to be an athlete to reach your goals, you got to freaking screw loose. You got to freaking screw loose, because it ain't happening. Sorry. And listen, for some, what's the age of kids here? 12 to 17?
Yeah, right.
Hey, listen, here's what I tell when I do lectures for young people. Hey, today is like I want you to leave home inspired and educated. It's over, man. Like, if your parents aren't helping you with the food, then do it yourself. I kind of say, listen, go from boyhood to manhood in that regard, from a responsibility factor now. Like, if you really want it, if you want to be the best you can be, and it's not in the fridge, then frickin' go to the store, buy some eggs, buy some potatoes, go on frickin' bodybuilding.com and take your mother's frickin' credit card when she ain't looking, and start buying some protein. You know what I'm saying? Come here, book 30 sessions, worry about it with your parents later, man. Later. Okay, it's your responsibility to eat right. I got some parents here. That's great. They came out. That's very good. I appreciate that. I'm sure they're going to help you. But some people don't have the luxury. They ain't got a lot of money, and their parents are working 2 jobs or whatever, and they're busy. So go to the frickin' food town, take your frickin' bike, fix the chain yourself, and be responsible. I'm not kidding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in Keyport, New Jersey. It was rough. You know, I was the skinniest kid. Like, I don't want to tell you how skinny and ugly I was. It was a mess. Who answered the question? Who's the lunch question?
Zach.
The Zach man?
Oh,
you.
I got more
Tell
questions.
your wife
They don't have
what
questions.
I just told you. All right. But you understand what I'm trying to say? No disrespect to parents or disrespect to anybody. What I'm trying to say is if you want to be the best you can be, you got to eat right. Because 80% of your 80% of your goal is going to be nutrition and rest. And 20% is going to be training. That's a general rule. Maybe 30, 70 at your age.
So if they don't eat right, they basically cancel out all the hard work they do. Essentially, close
Yes
to it.
and no. Remember the super compensation sheet? Remember the thing? Okay. You're going to get to a certain point. You take any human being and throw them in this atmosphere for 6 weeks, there's a neural adaptation to the training, and you're going to be stronger and faster. But if you don't then feed the machine, it will stop. Because the first 6 to 10 weeks of training improvement is mainly neurological. Would you agree?
Yes.
It's a neural adaptation. You're just learning how to fire the muscle and nerves as a 14-year-old. But after that period of time, if you don't have nutrient timing, it stops. You then start going catabolic, typically. So that's what happens. All right, any more questions about that stuff?
Where would like the nutritional value of like salad be? You said a lot. Is something you eat a lot of?
Okay, so good question. What's the nutritional value of salad? So first, it's a fibrous carbohydrate, so it's not going to give you a lot of glycogen. And it depends on the salad. Like iceberg lettuce is worthless. It's pesticides in the back. That's what that is. Okay? You ever notice iceberg lettuce never goes bad? Keep it in the fridge for a month and your iceberg lettuce. Okay. So the greener the better. So we need roughage and we need vegetables. So salad is great. The salad should be next to the starch. Okay?
Milk?
Milk is, you know, here's the story with dairy or cow's milk. It's got protein, it's got carbs, and some people even say, and the nutritionist for the Jets, she thought the world's greatest post-workout recovery beverage was chocolate milk. And it's not the worst. It's better than nothing. Chocolate milk's going to be like 8 grams of protein, maybe 16 grams of carbs, whatever. But the problem with milk today is that the cows are injected with a lot of bovine growth hormone and antibiotics. And if it's not organic milk, I'm not a big fan of milk. Okay?
But organic.
Organic milk is great. I like rice milk, hemp milk, almond milk. But young people, listen, I drank a lot of milk as a kid. It definitely helped me grow up. I started training at 11 years old because I was really, really skinny. And milk helped me. You see? But I like to keep the protein clean. If it's organic milk, I love it. Mix your whey protein with organic milk, throw a banana in there, throw some flax oil in there, have yourself a party. You're going to grow like a weed. Okay? All right, Crick, that.
Brian has a question.
Okay, Brian.
Sleep Tribe.
What's up?
What did you say the problem was if you're really hungry at night? That's when I'm hungry.
Well, if you're really hungry at night, there's a high probability you were under calorie during the day. That's number one. But if you wake up at 2 a.m. going, I gotta freaking eat, that could be a cortisol issue and other hormonal things. But you can correct that usually as a young person by eating frequently through the day and doing nutrient timing. You start eating better, get your breakfast, get a good lunch, get a pre-workout snack, get a post-workout recovery drink, have some dinner. And it is a great idea an hour and a half before bed to do like a protein shake or eat protein. You see? So your body's just telling you I need something. Now you could be vitamin C deficient or magnesium deficient, who the heck knows? Because you're going to crave food till the deficiencies usually take care of, as a general rule. Okay? So try eating better every 3 hours, 4 hours in the day, pre-workout, post-workout, etc. Right? Eat breakfast, see if that helps. All right. Any more questions?
Down.
Down in the somewhere.
What's up?
As far as liquids go, you just recommend
Yeah. So hydrating, pure water is best. If you want to get creative, hey, take like 7 ounces of water, maybe a couple ounces of juice, apple juice, cranberry juice, orange juice, pineapple juice. Throw it in there. Parents maybe put it in there. You know, like a 5-to-1 ratio of water to juice is nice. It's quenching, etc. But water's still number one. No doubt about it. And you can hydrate from fruits too. You know, fruits are great. You get hydration from fruit. And they're alkaline.
What with liquid proteins? Do you go raw eggs at all?
Raw eggs, like Rocky, the Rocky 1. You guys too young. Do you know who Rocky even is? Okay, so it's still a movie that everyone knows no matter what generation. It transcends generation. Okay, so Rocky, you know, in Rocky 1. Yeah, don't do that. Hey, listen, the reality is that, like, it's a good source of protein, but of course you're risking salmonella. And when you're doing raw eggs, there's something called avidin, which will strip your body of biotin over time. So it can strip your body of a very important B vitamin. You see? So it's not my best choice. Could you do egg protein powder? Yeah, egg whites, but they make like egg protein powder. If you can't do whey, do egg protein powder. That's fine. You see?
Other than the lettuce you mentioned, any fruits and vegetables that you suggest to stay away from? I don't want some carrots. They're not good.
Well, here's the thing about carrots. The baby carrots that you get in the package, and every carrot looks the same and they're bright and orange, are freaking toxic.
Right.
Okay? They're coming from a mangled up carrot that they can't sell as a carrot, and they like give it a sex change. They put it through a carrot Play-Doh maker, and they make a perfect full crap carrot and throw orange dye in it and wrap it in chlorine. Have yourself a ball, carrot boy. Okay? So that stuff is toxic. So that's probably what you've heard, and it's smart. So don't get those carrots. No fruit. Well, I mean, you get the point.
Fruits, no limitation.
Eat the fruit. But again, some fruits you should get organic, like peaches and apples. They should be organic because the peaches have the fuzz and holds the pesticides. But yeah, fruits, man. Rainbow dye, different colors, phytonutrients. That's the way. It'll save our prostates.
Yeah.
We're gonna worry about our prostates, right?
Gregory.
After a workout, you said to have simple carbohydrates. What's like the best simple carbohydrate?
Good question. Fruit juice. Dextrose is super cheap. You can go to GNC or the vitamin shop and just get like dextrose, which is just like sugar, drink and water. Okay, but juice, okay, is a simple sugar. You know, what's in Pro Optimizer here is a crystalline fructose and glucose polymers. What the hell does that mean? Okay, it's a special blend of carbohydrates that are made for instance by getting to the muscle. But simple carbs will do. Juice is fine. Okay, good. Yeah, good more. Come on, question.
Here's a question, Guru.
All right, brother.
So, a lot of these guys know who Nick and Frank are, and I remember Nick when he was young, and he reminds Nick Mendito.
Oh yeah.
He like physically reminds me of like a good number of these kids. What was like the big one or two mistakes the two of them were making?
Okay.
And what was the one or two things you said you
that's
should
good.
change?
That's application. Okay, so Nick Mendito came to me, I guess, right before his junior year in high school.
Right before he won the states, two-time state champ.
That's exactly right. And he comes with his mom. The kid's sitting there. Looks like he's like a surfer dude from like San Diego, like just hanging out, not even paying attention to me.
He is a surfer.
So I'm like, and the mother's there. She's nice lady. I said, yo. Long story short, they had a problem with the coach a year before. They wanted him to go up in a weight class, or no, go down a weight, whatever. So I said, listen, I do body composition analysis. I do fat, muscle, water testing so I can see how much fat you can lose and what your ideal body weight is, etc. So he came back for the second visit, and I was like, hey, and I don't know who these people are. I don't know if they're good or not. I don't know. I don't read the papers. I go, I don't even think you even want this. So I kind of took it away from him. I was doing a little mind game with him. I go, listen, I can't be your nutritionist, your sports nutritionist, because you just don't seem interested. So if you're not interested, you ain't going to do this. Because in my program, if you're a client, no matter what age you are, you keep a journal, you bite it and write it, you track your water, you take the nutrients like I'm no joke. So if you're thinking about coming to see me, that's great, I'm down at Red Bank, but just keep in mind, whether you be a parent, 90% of my client base is 40 and older. My specialty is chronic disease. 10% of my client base, or less now, is young athletes. Having said that, got in his head a little bit, and he was nutritionally deficient across the board, vitamins, minerals, protein, nutrient timing. Now, Nick fortunately had a fantastic mom who kind of did everything for him from a nutritional perspective. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because Nick, if you ever met him, is just like, what up? I think he went to Rutgers and stopped wrestling, right? For whatever reason. But he did shock the wrestling community his junior year. I think he was like seeded 12th and he won the states.
Oh, what do you see? He just packed on a lot of muscle.
But anyway, I don't know. I just said 12. All I know is that it was like, and he did it 2 years in a row. Nutrition helped him. Joey Trouse, I think he was a 1 or 2 time. He's a Bergen Catholic kid.
Yeah. No.
Okay. He came to me with his parents 5 years ago, and they wanted him to keep cutting weight his sophomore year.
He was a 3-pounder as a freshman.
Exactly. So Ben and Dave call me. I got to send you this guy. They were the strength coaches. I go, dude, and his parents, you cannot wrestle 103. It's impossible. This is like the middle of the season, or right. You cannot wrestle 103. You're a I got to win the states. Go up a weight class, save yourself, and we'll see what happens. The guy who wins the states is a sophomore, I guess at 108 or 111, 112, whatever the weight class is. And then actually, he still did well. I think he won the states ever again. But the point is, with Nick Mendito and Joey Trouse, my number one advice was, you're going up a weight class. So that means you have to have a conversation sometimes with the coach, which is a whole nother story. But they're depleted, they're overtrained, etc. But the reality of it is they didn't understand nutrition timing. They were completely depleted for years. I also work now with, he's like a 2-time national junior guy. This kid's out of control. You know, you heard Nick Soriano?
Yeah.
You know that kid? Is he good? Is he real good? Is he like one of the best? He's like 2-time national champ, right? So he comes down to Red Bank with his dad. He's a trip, this kid. But he's undersized. He's only like, you're right, he's only like 88 pounds, and he's like 8th grade for the second time. That's a whole nother story. You caught that, right? So I work with Nick Soriano. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, these are just some of the stories, but you know what? It boils down to this. Right? Your fundamental nutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, your essential fats, your sleep, your water, your timing, your positive mental attitude, and what's probably number one?
Sleep.
Goals.
What?
Goals.
Very good. Goals are number one.
Team Schlafer.
Because, I'm telling you straight up, without the goal written down, you're not going to do this. The stuff I just said, trust me, if you don't have a legit goal, you're not going to ride your bike and bake the potatoes. You're not going to do the post-workout shake. You're not going to find the money for the products. It's goals. And then from your goals, it gives your frontal cortex a way to be self-directed and self-motivated. So every decision you make should be based on the goal. You follow me? And since I mostly have young men here in the room, and some men with estrogen, which I'm fine with. And a guy who's hanging on by a thread in the crib. Ready for this? This I want to kind of leave you with, and I'll stay all night, I don't care. Okay, gentlemen. The women are going to be there for the rest of your life. Trust me. Sorry, ladies. The parties will be there for the rest of your life. Trust me. This is a time for you to set your goals, get your ass in gear, if this is what you want. If you don't want it, that's fine. Do something else. But you should focus on being a good athlete, a good student, a better freaking kid. That's what you should focus on. That's what this is all about. Okay? So, your friends are out on Saturday night or Friday night, you're staying home. You're going to bed at 10:30. You're having a protein shake, you're going to bed. Okay? So, trust me. The parties, the girls, whatever you might be interested in now, your goal should supersede these other ancillary things. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out and have a fun time once in a while and kind of, you don't have to be 100% over-focused, because that's not good either. But you get the point. You get the point, parents? Would you agree with this?
Yes.
Is that okay I say this? Okay.
Yeah, they really...
Trust me, because trust me when I'm telling you. I wish I had, number one, talent growing up, because I didn't have a lot of talent. I was an okay baseball player. But I wish I had somebody, wish I understood this, about the importance of goals. But fortunately, when I was 13, I heard this, I said I want to be a chiropractor, I want to be a nutritionist, and I was self-motivated. And that helped me a lot. But what really helped me with my confidence was weight training. Because I was a scrawny kid. But weight training really helped me. I was reading, like stupid bodybuilding books for teenagers at 12. Every month I was saying, okay, Mom, measure my biceps, measure my thighs. I was doing that, you see? All right? And I'm still doing the same thing years later. So that's weird. But the point is that all this other ancillary stuff, you ain't missing out on nothing. Trust me. There's two things, right? The pain of regret or the pain of discipline. You understand? Now the pain of discipline goes away once you do the right thing. The pain of regret, when you didn't do what you're supposed to do, that lasts a lifetime in some cases. Look at these poor people, these poor parents. Look at all the regret. I'm kidding. You agree with that? Discipline or regret? Right? It's both painful. Well, yeah, it's a short window, and the thing about pain and discipline, once it's done, it's done. Regret, like I said, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have worked out hard, I should have ate right, I should have started cutting weight 4 weeks before, I shouldn't have had that bagel after the last match, that was stupid, I went up 4 pounds, I should have went and had chicken wings like everybody else, because I know some coaches after wrestling, I say, go off for chicken wings. Why are you doing that? So they can then have to cut 6 pounds in 4 more days? Well, what is that? Does this happen or am I crazy? Like, well, what is that? Well, we're going out for buffalo wings. Really? Really? How about a freaking protein shake, and go have a nice piece of filet mignon? You know what I'm trying to say? Whatever. We can't fix it all. But guys like Zach, and I ain't joking, who really care, and your parents, you're fortunate, no doubt. Like I said, he was a real pain in my butt to get me here, but I love doing this. I love it. The point is that this is a tight community. The underground, no bull, gladiator, hang yourself upside down and smelly underwear. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. I'm not kidding you. This is going back to the old days, right? This is good. All right. I got off on a tangent. That's good. Any other questions? Okay. So you guys were great. Really, really great. If I offended anybody, too bad. It's usually 1 or 2 would lecture. Just the way it goes. Number 2. Did I get everyone's emails? Where is that email list? I have to have, good. Make sure the email list, do me a favor, put it on the front there. If you didn't get your name on the email list, give it to Zach. I want to put you on my